Hi everybody, it's Amy at Crafty Cat, and I'm back again for another Watercolor Wednesday. And you can see here, maybe hopefully, that I have a funny little goose sketch. And I got this by going on Pinterest and finding a funny little goose, printing it out, coloring the back with a pencil like we've done before. You can also use transfer paper or whatever, you know, if you have the carbon paper, you can use that. And then tracing, so you can see the black lines where I traced that bird, and that's how I got him onto my paper. And I had to make it bigger than what the original image came out to be, so I used my print to size app, and that is on I use an iPad, so if you don't have Apple products, I don't know, but there might be something like that in your app store or whatever it is that you use, or sometimes your printers even. You can do, you know, make things bigger, smaller, whatever. So that is how I did that. That's how I got the goose. So we're going to paint him. I put a scarf on him. I added a scarf because you can see, obviously, this one is a real photo of a goose and doesn't have a scarf. So I added a scarf, and I am going to use a 8 round, and I'm going to use my all kinds of colors here. And I've just sort of mixed up some colors in some bluish grays, and I'm going to try to water them down quite a bit because obviously this is a white goose, and so painting white on white doesn't work. And yeah, so I'm just gonna actually make this a little bit lighter because it is a white goose. But anyway, you don't want your pencil lines too dark, but I obviously still need to be able to see them. And I can probably still erase some stuff after the fact, but sometimes once you get watercolor over the top of it, you can't erase it. And the beak will be orange and the feet will be orange. And I don't know about the scarf yet. I haven't got that far. I thought it would be fun to do a Christmas one, and you could do one like this smaller and use it as a Christmas card or whatever. Do something fun with it, right? So I just have some blue, purpley sort of grays, real watered down, and I, again, am no professional, but I see down here I obviously need it darker around his belly, or her belly. I don't really know. I'm not a goose expert. They're just funny. They crack me up, so I wanted to paint one. So how you guys doing? Hope you're all fantastic today. I want to say a huge super thanks to Kathy, and also a hug and blessings to Luann and Nancy P. Thank you, Nancy. She always has very kind comments, and you know, she watches me very regularly, and Celeste. So thank you so much to all of you for all of your wonderful support and kindness, and I cannot tell you how much I appreciate all of you. And welcome to new subscribers, and welcome back to people who have been with me for a while. I got way too much paint here, or water, I mean. Yeah, so hope you're all doing well. Getting close to the lovely fall. Hallelujah. I can kind of feel it in the air. It's lovely. I mean, we're still pretty warm here, but it's at least cooling off a bit at night, which is nice. That always makes it more tolerable. You know, you can get through a hot day if you know that at night you'll be able to open a window and get some nice, refreshing, cool air. I mean, we have air conditioning, but I don't know, you know, sometimes you just want nice, fresh air, not air-conditioned air. At least that's the way I am. And so I'm just going to go over a lot of this with water that is barely tinged, you know, to kind of get that. And some spots I will obviously leave lighter to basically white. I'm really just kind of adding a little water that has whatever color is left in my brush. Just because, like I said, you can't really get just white. It just doesn't really work. on these guys. And I don't even know if this is going to work, to be honest, because I have never painted anything that's supposed to be white 100%. So I am also learning at this whole stage of painting. I am new to watercolor, so you can paint along with me. Like I said, just find yourself an image you think is fun. You don't have to do Goose. Like I've mentioned before, my friend Darcy at Darcy's Misadventures in Mixed Media, was doing some of the Watercolor Wednesdays, and she does just whatever she feels like, which is awesome. At least she's playing around with the watercolor, huh? So very fun, and it's fun to see what other people are doing that are also participating in it. I like it a lot. Okay, this part is pretty white, but we will add some color, and I'll actually pull some color from up here because I still want it to be pretty white. Geese just, I don't know if they make me laugh. I think they're so funny. Chickens are funny too. I think it's just the whole, well, birds in general. Don't you feel like they need arms? I mean, I know that's what their wings, you know, kind of are, but like especially quail, when I watch quail, they just crack me up because I feel like they're missing something. I don't know. I know they're not, but in my brain they kind of are. And you can always assign sort of human qualities to all these funny little animals, like adding a scarf or a hat or what have you. So they're just very fun. They give us a smile, and that's what we all need, right? I'm just going to pull up some of that water, and I'm doing that by using my paper towel that has ink all over it, but anyway. And dabbing off water and then picking up some water. Just kind of a good way to do it. And this part, from this part up, I want to be more white, which is going to be interesting because it's very tricky. I am going over the lines that I drew just to kind of get that shading or shadow. And I did get some on the scarf, but that's not a big deal because we can paint over that. This is going to be a hard one, probably for a video, just because it is light, but I thought it would be just fun to do. So I hope you guys like it. If nothing else, you can laugh. I'm going to kind of do some little, because of his feathers, her feathers, I don't know. Sure are cute. Okay, I'm gonna get that a little bit more clean and then take some of this and try to scooch it up. I'm actually gonna turn it. Sorry, I know that's not very fun for you guys, but my arm can't do that sideways thing very well. When painting. And this has just got water on it, and I'm just kind of picking up a little bit of that color down here, hopefully. It wasn't too long. Okay, we'll get the top of this wing, which obviously the wing is going to be much more white. But I do kind of want to get some type of outline on it. And this under here needs to be a little bit darker. Right under there, it needs to be darker. I don't want to get it too close to that water. I just painted up there though, because I don't want it getting all the colors. Okay, and that other wing is pretty light colored as well. I'll show you my reference just so you can see. It's pretty all light on top, obviously makes sense. Just have a very light amount of that kind of blue purple on there. Now you can do these, that was not good. Any way you want. I went right out of the line there. You can make them a bright color if you want to. You know, you don't have to do them white just because they're white. But that's just how I'm choosing to do it. But you can definitely go much brighter and just fun colors, you know, add some pinks and stuff like that if you want to. I need to probably do something for, I kind of want that snowy look, but not really sure how I want to do that. I didn't think this all the way through clearly. Just trying to get that basic shape going there. Kind of just outlining. And then there is a bit of a shadow under, I would say his chin, but under the beak. Doesn't really have a chin. So if you like geese, you'll like this. If you're like, why a goose? I don't really know. I just like them. I think they're fun. I might give this as a gift for Christmas. So just a fun little something. And I am gonna go around this with pen too, so that, because as you can see, it is very hard to see, but we're good at least. Now we'll do, I think I'll do feet first because that needs to get dry before I start putting orange up there. That could be a disaster, right? And I know they're super like bright orange, but I'm going to go just a tiny bit more muted, almost a rusty sort of a color, just because got way too much water on there. That's just the way I want it. I just don't want that like cone orange color. They have funny little feet. Get a little bit of a brighter orange. Their little knees. Yeah, I'm trying to think of Christmas gifts because, man, it gets so hectic and crazy that, I don't know. I never seem to, like, I try and I never get it done the way I want. I feel like some like lines in their legs. And you can make them as bright as you want. And I think I'll probably draw the rest in with pen. As far as because they kind of have little claws. That'll also help with the pencil marks if you're worried about it, and just use a pen when you're done, and then that way it'll take away some of that pencil mark thing. Okay, get this one. Sorry if I'm sighing. It's not because I'm not having fun. It's just something I do when I'm a little bit taxed. Like, not totally sure what I'm doing, if you know what I mean. Like, this is not my normal wheelhouse. So if I ever sigh, it's probably not because of like, I'm doing this. It's just something I do when I'm vexed. How's that? I mean, I feel like he's turning out cute. I just have never done one of these. But that's the whole idea. So I hope you guys paint something fun, do something fun. But you can find this image on Pinterest if you just do, I think I put in funny goose or geese or something like that. So yeah, it's easy to find fun things to paint on there. I mean, pick your animal, you'll find an image of it on there. It's very easy to do. Just a little more. Put those lines in there, and then I left them, and then they dried fast. So I've got that weird orange edge over there. I think it will look better once it's outlined. Thanks for hanging out with me today, you guys. I like doing these watercolor things, obviously, or I wouldn't keep doing them. But they're just fun. I'm gonna have to work on that a little more once it gets dry, I think. Water. That is the trick, I'm telling you. When you're doing watercolor, is not to get too much water, which is tricky. Come up here and kind of outline the beak, and then they have kind of a more white spot at the end of their beak, or a lighter spot, not really white. So try to make that part lighter. Yeah, it's interesting. I said lighter and then I ended up making it darker. I just added a tiny bit of brown, but you really can't tell. Doing it again. I don't want to drag my hand through the wet feet. Take this, dab the bottom of his nose, and then we can revisit that. So let me work on his scarf, or her scarf. I don't know which one it is. It's too pink. I do like the way the top came out better by outlining, so I think I'm going to do that a little bit to the rest of it. I mean, I think it will help once I do the pen, but and I'm not connecting every line. I think I did this. This side, because of the way the goose is turned, you don't see as much of the wing. This is a lot lighter down here. We might add a little more color. I'm barely even touching my brush, like hardly at all, to the paper. And hardly sticking it in the paint either, just the very, very tippy tip. Okay, probably should have put a little less on that wing, but for a first go, it's not too bad. Okay, so what colors do we want the scarf? Let's do red and green, I think. I will try. What color is this? Trying to find the right red I like. I think that's it. And I'm not doing any specific scarf. It's got stripes on it, whatever. I mean, you can do it however you want to. Oh, my son's car. Didn't tell you guys, but they fixed it temporarily. They're waiting for a part to come in, but I mean, it works fine. It's just they want to make sure that it will last. And they just called him this morning. They hadn't called him. He had called, all that stuff. And they just called and said it's fixed temporarily. You'll have to bring it back when we get the part in, and then we'll, you know, fix it permanently. And so out of nowhere, after he called and nobody called him back and all that, it's fixed. So he can drive his car for a few days and then go get the part put in permanently, and voila. And it actually, knock on wood, because I never like to speak too soon because we haven't done this other part yet, but it wasn't awful expensive, which I thought it was really going to be awful. I mean, it's expensive, yes, but so they both, for the moment, have working cars. Hallelujah. Thank you to all of you who had nice comments about that. I know it's boring to hear about, but just like to chat with you guys about stuff. That's about all that's going on around here. Nothing else exciting than that. But that's pretty exciting, I have to say, at this point. It's very stressful to have, as y'all know, I'm sure, if you have kids, them go away to school and like something like that happens. And he's a while away. I mean, it's not like I can just run over and get him. And he has no car. It's just kind of not a wonderful feeling. I mean, we've all been there, I'm sure. I am not alone. So I'm trying to think. I think the one that's under there, I'm going to leave white, and I'll do this one red. Do I want this to be red and white or green and red? Or, yeah, don't know. I'm leaving little white spots just because I like that, but if you like yours all filled in, then fill it all in. You do you, boo. Whatever makes you happy. So yes, I was very ecstatic to hear that this morning, because I was really starting to worry about it. I mean, it's fine while the weather's fine, but it just will, you know, suddenly snow there. And I mean, yeah, I know he's a big kid, but I can't help but worry about my kids. And he made himself pot roast last night, and I thought that's pretty cool. He's very happy to have a kitchen, because last year he really didn't. I mean, they have like a sink and a countertop and stuff like that, but, and because he's gluten-free and lactose-free, he really can't eat at the cafeteria. So he's very thrilled to have a kitchen. He's a pretty good cook, too. He used to bake bread all the time. I told him that's kind of ironic because that was before it had gotten so bad. Because he's not celiac or anything like that. It just tears his stomach up, you know. So, like, he can eat it. It's just not fun. But, anyway, he would make French bread all the time, and oh my gosh, it was so good. And I just laugh now because I'm like, my goodness, all those times you made French bread and like eat a whole loaf practically. Crazy. to think about. It just got worse though as he got older. He learned to bake in 4-H, so he was pretty young when he was doing that. Okay, and we got one more over here. Liking it so far. Oh, and I think that one over there too. Feel free to fast forward because I understand it's literally watching paint dry here. But if you like the whole process, you are welcome to stay. I like that. It's nice and red. It's a good red color. I'll have to let that dry before I come in with green. So I think I'll start with some of the pen work, just to, so we don't have to stand here and watch it dry. And what we've got to do is I'm going to turn it upside down so that I don't drag my hand through the paint. And I'll probably come back and put a white dot in that. It's dry. And I'm not doing my perfect lines because, as I have mentioned a million times, I have a shaky hand, and trying to see what direction that goes. There's like a little oval-y thing right there. I can't really do one even if I could or wanted to. I think he's gonna be cute if I don't mess it up by dragging my hand somewhere. I'm gonna do some silly little doodlies up there, and I'll bring it in closer so you can see too. And we'll go do the feet. I seem to have messed up my paper right there. So this one was a little bit of a cheat because I didn't draw it like I usually do, but don't really know how to draw a goose. It's just much easier to find an image, which is, you know, work smarter, not harder, right? Okay, that definitely brings it to life a bit. I really like the ink with it. I know a lot of people just do the paint, and that is, you're very talented. I kind of like the ink though with it. So it really is a personal preference, and you just got to do what works for you. Okay. Might as well keep going until we can do the green. He kind of looks a little crazy, doesn't he? He looks like I feel at Christmas time. A little harried. Okay, we're going to put the white dot in the eye. I have to find the right. In my box O markers, along with other randomness. This is my doodle box that I take downstairs and do like those doodle leaves and all that with. I got red up there. I just made a mess. Okay, I'm trying to think where. It looks like he's looking off to the side a little. Oopsie, that's a little big. We can fix it when it dries. Okay, I think we can do red now. I think I want red. Do I want red or do I want to leave it red and white? Or I mean, green. Why am I struggling so much with the green thing? Let's see. Sorry, trying to find green that I like. Shouldn't really mix with your good brush like I am doing right now. That's kind of a no-no because it messes up the bristles. But I did it. Yeah, I think I like the green. Good thing because it's on there, huh? I liked the white too. Either one would have worked. So my son said that they have been decorating for Halloween in his apartment. They're so funny. He seems to be having a better time this year as far as, you know, when you get stuck with a bunch of people you don't know. They didn't know one of their roommates. It was just two of them that knew each other, but he's turned out to be a really good guy. So, and he's got a cat, which of course Theron is ecstatic about because, you know, his cat's here, so. He's very happy to have a cat around. And she's a kitten, so she's a lunatic, which they, of course, love. She'd be crazy. He kind of forgot. I think I've said this before. what it's like to have a kitten around, because, you know, Pasha's going on 12. I mean, and he's goofy enough, but, you know, kittens are completely unhinged if you've had a cat. I know some people haven't, but, like, I've never owned a dog. Been around dogs, yes, but never owned a dog. I guess we had him when I was littler. It's just the house we lived in when I was growing up. My dad felt like wasn't great for dogs because we didn't have like a fenced-in yard. And so the dog we did have, he gave to some people that had a, I was very little, like 2. He gave to some people that had like a ranch. So the dog could run around out and be free. I mean, he probably could have put up a fence, but just wasn't a great spot for a dog. But we always had cats because my grandfather had an old barn, and you know how cats like old barns, so they would be having kittens all the time. I would go in and catch the kittens so that we could, you know, give them away to people who wanted them. But yeah, it was a lot of cats. My grandfather liked cats. Okay. I like it. We'll go back and try to fix that eye. Okay. Just want a little spot, and he looks mean. I don't want him to look mean. We like nice geese. I don't know, a lot of geese are pretty darn mean, I have to say. I don't really know that much about domestic geese. I just know about Canadian geese. My daughter got stories about them because she's on that campus. They have Canadian geese, and they'll take you out if you're not careful. All right, I will be right back. I'm gonna get that dry. Okay, I am back, and I'm gonna add a little more orange to the orange feet. Just a little bit. It's probably lighter in there than, maybe I'll make this a little darker. Just needs a little more contrast, you know? That's how I felt. Okay, and we'll do a little more on the beak as well. Sorry, I get so quiet because I'm really concentrating and I can't think of anything to talk about when I get like that. Okay, I think that's good. We're going to go around our scarf. Try not to touch anything else. I'm going to kind of do oh, and this is a micron 02, my usual sort of one. You just popped. I'm gonna do like a few little squiggles off my scarf. It's a well-loved scarf. I don't know about the eye on that. It kind of freaks me out a little bit, and I don't know how to fix that. All right, let's do, I'll show you up close just so you can see. It's the eye. I don't know what to do about the eye either. Maybe we'll do a little blue on the bottom. Not really. I don't want it super specific, you know? I just want maybe that sort of cold thing, but not really. I think I'll just do some kind of splatters. You're probably like, stop. Okay, that's good. All righty. I will sign it once it is dry, but there is my goose. I don't know why, but I had to do a goose. All right, guys, I will see you again tomorrow. I hope you have an awesome rest of your day, and we'll chat again soon. Love you guys. Bye.